Hey everyone, this is Rudy, and I just had to make a video response on a video that I've just watched. It's one of the most evil videos that I have seen, and it's the 2009 Zeitgeist orientation movie. It's about an hour and a half, and I'll put the link up here. And if you're interested, I think it's kind of important to watch because it gives you the arguments of our enemies. And I'm going to talk about philosophy tonight, and philosophy is incredibly important, even if you don't think it is important. Philosophy is, what you hold as true. It's your belief systems. And if you believe that philosophy is not important, and you don't believe that your belief systems are important, you'll be blown with the wind. You will fall for the latest argument. You will be convinced that whatever sounds good at the time, and if you haven't well thought out your core belief system. So it's incredibly important to think very thoroughly about your core belief system so that you don't get blown by the wind. And it's not to say that you can't change those belief systems over time, but if you haven't developed them, you will be easily persuaded and bamboozled and duped by intelligent sounding people. There's a famous philosopher called Immanuel Kant, K-A-N-T, and he developed a philosophy that says truth is subjective. So that would mean that truth for you is different than truth for me. And that's the case because we can never really know anything in this world. And I think he is one of the most evil philosophers on the planet. I think you've heard in my previous videos, I'm a huge admirer of Ayn Rand. And I'm not going to go into God or religion during this video. This video is for everyone, even atheist and objectivist, if there is any objectivist watching. But Ayn Rand hated Immanuel Kant too, and I have huge admiration for Ayn Rand. She believed the core of what Ayn Rand taught, regardless of the fact that she was an atheist, was that man is an individual that has freedom and independence to make his own decisions about his own life, right? And that's why I hold Ayn Rand up as somebody to be admired, and I love her books, okay? And I wish that I could get along better with objectivists because I think she was such a great woman, but I just can't get over the fact that they don't tolerate a belief in God. So having stated that, she didn't like Immanuel Kant, and his philosophy sets up the exact system that is espoused in this video. Now, Immanuel Kant had an assistant, and his assistant was responsible for proofreading the writings of Immanuel Kant, and I guess he would be checking grammatical errors and spelling errors and things of that nature. And when Immanuel Kant wrote his paper about truth being subjective and you can never really know anything for sure, the guy, I don't remember his name, but the guy who was responsible for doing that, he was the assistant, said that if he was to finish that paper, they would have had to check him into a mental institution. So that's kind of a little bit how I feel after watching this movie. I have a very strong belief system and a very strong philosophy about life. And so when I see the lies that are presented in this video, it's very evident to me. But what concerns me when I watch it is I can see where the general public will be easily duped and fall for it. And when you watch the comments on this video, if you go there and look at people say, I can't wait till this happens and let's start work on this today. And they think that they are getting intellectual professors using the scientific method of running the world, but it is actually going to be the destruction of mankind, and it is going to be Genghis Khan taking over. And it will be, survival of the fittest for humans, which will not be a pretty picture. It's all systems throughout, all socialist and communist systems throughout society have held up this godless soulless utopia for mankind, and it will always be, we're working towards this utopia, but they never get there. And the elite of society will remain the elite as long as the masses of the people are just working to eventually get to this utopia. And Ayn Rand taught us, she came from communist Russia, that they always said things will be better in 5 years. 5 years would come and, oh, things will be better in 5 years. This is the oldest trick in the book. And you can see the American people are going to fall for it. I have a lot of faith in the Patriot brothers and sisters, but I have to admit that when I look at it, the general population, they have been dumbed down. And this godless, soulless utopia will be sold as the answer to society's problems once, we have a breakdown in our current government, in our current societal system. I believe this idea is what the New World Order is going to bring forward. Now, if you know Zeitgeist, if you've seen the previous Zeitgeist movies, Zeitgeist has a lot of movies. Some of them have attacked religion, and there's been rebuttals and refutals to those, and I will not go into those because that's not the purpose of this video. But Zeitgeist also exposed the Federal Reserve, and Zeitgeist also exposed 9/11. And so it would be, imagine all the patriots in a room, and we're all talking, and we're all people of like mind, and a guy walks in with a presentation. He's a very snazzy guy, very well spoken, and he starts giving a presentation about 9/11 and the Federal Reserve. At first you're going to think, hey, this guy is a great patriot. He really knows his stuff. Look at the video he just did on the Federal Reserve. Look at the video he just did on 9/11 Truth. So this guy must be, he's in there. And then he goes on to say that we don't have a soul, we don't have free will, there is no such thing as religion or divine creator, and all religion is evil superstition. And not only that, he starts espousing a utopia, a godless, soulless utopia, where nobody has any jobs. And I mean, here's one of the, everything is ran by machines. Here's one of the quotes from the video. Just one of the many that I wrote down, but I'm not going to have time to go into in the 10 minutes. Conscious delegation of decision making to computers is the next phase of social evolution. Here's another quote from that video. Absolute certainty is a privilege of the uneducated and the minds of fanatics. That goes back to the Immanuel Kant thing. See, they're going to tell us that there is no such thing as truth. That truth for you is different than truth for me. It is subjective. So when they can get us to buy into this, they will substitute what they believe is truth. And they will use things like the scientific method tells us that we should do this. And I'm not against the scientific method. I believe that the scientific method is a wonderful, wonderful thing and has been very beneficial to humankind. I am all about using science and logic and reason. But the scientific method is not my God. See, these people put computers and the scientific method as their God. He even says that he wants to delegate decision-making to computers. He believes that computers will make better decisions for mankind than our own selves. He is giving up our own sovereignty over our own individual selves. If you get a chance, watch the movie, but I can tell you that after having studied philosophy, Immanuel Kant, Ayn Rand, what I know about communism and socialism, godless, soulless, utopia societies, that this movie that they put out, the Zeitgeist movie, is one of the most evil movies I have ever seen. And it has nothing to do with its attack on Christianity. I'll let that slide. If people don't want to believe in Christianity and they believe it's a superstitious belief, that's your decision, and I would fight for your right to hold that decision. I totally disagree with you, and if you would like to engage me in a discussion, I would be more than happy to talk with you about why I believe in Christianity as opposed to Islam or any other belief system in the world. I'm not offended by I am offended, but I'm willing to let's put that aside for the second. That's not the purpose of this video. The other things that Zeitgeist wants to do is the most evil thing that you can imagine for humanity. And I believe that Zeitgeist, they just have to, the New World Order has to be behind those folks, because their ideas are the most destructive that I have ever seen. And that's what I got to say about that. That's my true feelings on it, and I'm willing to engage anybody in a conversation that wants to talk about it. Take care, everyone, and God bless every single one of you.